It is the job of public health officials as well as government officials to be accountable to the people that they serve.
Remember the Lancet editorial, which says that India has squandered away its early successes in controlling COVID-19, and Prime Minister Modi's government presides over a self-inflicted national catastrophe. Do you believe that editorial? I mean, I'm sure you read the editorial. Does that resonate with how you feel?
I have read what the Lancet said. Now, it is the job of public health officials as well as government officials to be accountable to the people that they serve. This is universal in democracies. That is the foundation of a democracy. Now, in India, what I've learned also that I knew growing up is that our country, somehow accountability is not at the forefront of policy. If you try to hold some people accountable, it is considered a political statement. It absolutely is not. These are people who are public servants. They've been elected by the government. Now, whether it is the central government right now or some state governments, so much could have been done across the board. There has been a failure in so many ways that I think that the public health infrastructure in India needs to look into. The Lancet definitely put a square blame at some of the policy gaps that were there. I agree, there are policy gaps. This is not a political statement. It's a statement based on facts. Any kind of nationalism, which I think to believe national pride, should be based on humanism. If you cannot take care of the people in your country, if the humanity is suffering, what kind of pride can we take as a nation? The healthcare need is a basic human right for the people, and the people of India deserve that right to be met.
What more can the central and state governments do right now, given the situation that we are in? Blame games obviously will come later. Lancet has obviously made an opinion, has put out an opinion on where it thinks we went wrong. A lot of experts in India have their own opinions. There are people who might differ, and there is this whole thing about center taking responsibility versus health being a state subject. So therefore, the state governments drop the ball, and so on and so forth. But without getting into the politics of it, how do you see and the blame game right now? How do you see what more can the governments do? And I mean both central and state governments to tide over the present crisis. Now, from here on, what are the steps we need to take urgently?
Let me start with the most acute phase of the crisis where we are right now. I believe in what Dr. Fauci, when he was talking about the Indian situation, has suggested in a capacity of just an American citizen. India is a sovereign nation. It needs to take its own decisions, but we need to consider a lockdown. We need to make sure that the people who are the most harmed by such a step are taken care of and the basic necessities are supplied. Now, that is a big ask. And if we cannot do that, then the state and central governments need a seamless coordination. We need central commands at both the federal as well as the state level that are constantly in touch, that are on an hourly or 2-hourly update to each other regarding the availability of oxygen, regarding the bed capacity, regarding what is happening in their particular state in terms of logistics and supply chains. Now, these are not attractive, sensational subjects that you can go to the masses and say that, look at the supply chain data. But this is what is necessary. We need to build a skeleton in this country, and very quickly, that can deliver the things where they are needed. We have most of the oxygen that we need. The supply is one of the biggest issues. Similarly with vaccines, even the ones we have, our vaccination rates have dropped substantially. This requires coordination across party lines, across state and federal bureaucracies. And we can achieve a lot if we get down to it and have a coherent command system that at the central and state levels coordinates this care on a regular basis, just like the Supreme Court started a central task force for oxygen that I was reading about.